Hello, hello, hello. Greetings and salutations to you all. I hope everyone is doing as healthy and as well as they can be during this time. And let's get into some astrology. I wanted to talk about this T-square, as we call it in the astrology world, and what's going to be going on with that. This is going to be, first of all, this aspect is only going to be lasting for today and tomorrow, but it's kind of significant because of the way that it's happening, and I'll explain that a little bit more. But if we just dig right in, we'll see that we have the moon in the sign of Cancer. If you'll kind of follow my bouncing mouse around the screen here, but we have the moon in the sign of Cancer, and we have Pluto in opposition to it in the sign of Capricorn. So this opposition is happening because Cancer, the sign that rules the fourth house, that is our upbringing and our family life, our ancestry, our formative years, our childhood, um, Capricorn rules our career, our occupation, our sort of adult life outside of the home, what we are doing outside the home, specifically as our occupation or career, or our how we're servicing ourselves and the greater good in the receptive energy of in income and employment and things like that. So with the moon in its home sign of Cancer, this is a good place. So the moon is wanting to nurture, and it's really wanting that homey feel. It's really kind of activating, it could be activating our home life right now, just kind of paying attention to our home, and maybe bringing up possibly some of the issues within our homes as well. And also the sign of Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, but Pluto, the sign, is the sign of deep transformation. And this is usually a time of when things that are deep under come up to the surface to be worked out. So, and usually wherever Pluto is transiting in a chart is usually a pretty painful process, because of the nature of what Pluto does and how Pluto works in our lives to transform us and shape us with these experiences that transform us. Um, and so we have that happening in our career life, in our occupations, our careers. So lots of careers changing during this time, as you know, as the workforce is kind of restructuring itself, seemingly, after the sequence of events that have been taking place since 2020. So, and we have a square aspect here to both the moon and Pluto at this kind of fulcrum point where the Sun and Mercury are in Taurus. So Taurus is it's a female receptive sign. And the Sun here is all about our self-care, just the aesthetic. We want our nails painted, we want the cute clothes, we want the cute picnic blankets. We want the picturesque walks on the beach, that sort of vibe. And our work life and our home life are kind of like, not so much right now. Can we not? We still need this and we still need this. And the Sun is over here like, maybe we'll take a break for a little bit. I feel like I've been doing that for a while. Let's do something different here. All the while also having simultaneous sextiles. The Sun is here also to Jupiter and Mars. So the funny thing about this is that both Gemini and Aquarius are masculine signs. So you have this yin yang energy happening in this sextile. It's a receptive energy, so it's mutually receptive. So you've got the feminine Taurus in sextile with Jupiter in Aquarius, and also Mars in Gemini. So this is at least a little bit of a interesting happening right here, because you've got this T-square going on, which is such a serious seeming ordeal. And then you have the sun or excuse me, the sun sextile to Mars and Gemini, which is kind of that comedian um, aspect, and that kind of a delay fish aspect, as I see it, just kind of delays things and kind of goofs off. And then Jupiter in Aquarius, which is kind of expanding the our interactions in the outside world, and communications in the digital aspect, and as the sign of Aquarius rules the 11th house, which is of friendships, hopes and dreams, the collective, like as that's all intertwined together. Um, so it's kind of interesting. You have this really serious aspect, and then these kind of like lighthearted, kind of receptive energies also happening at the same time, just not really supporting that serious the serious nature of that. Okay, so let's move on to tomorrow, the 20th, and this chart is for 1:29 in the afternoon, and I'm using Central Time. So today we have the moon in Leo in opposition to Saturn in Aquarius. So this is going to be a completely different kind of opposition. So the moon is now not well placed because the moon is a water element and Leo is fire. So when we have the moon in Leo, we are kind of more emotionally connected to creativity during this time, as Leo is kind of about the self and how we individuate from the rest of the zodiac, so to speak, and how we kind of express our creativity. So we have the emphasis there, but the moon isn't operating at full capacity because it's not a great position for the moon. And then we have Saturn in Aquarius, which is the ruler of this entire chart currently, as it's the most well-placed planet, the most powerful planet in its placement. So there's opposition here. So Saturn is obviously winning this argument. But we still have this T-square going on. But now the moon is square to Uranus and Venus, it looks like, and Mercury. And then Saturn at 12 degrees is still square to Uranus, and the sun is square to Pluto. So the T-square aspect here that I'm highlighting is between the sun, or excuse me, the moon and Saturn, and then these planets at the fulcrum here. So once again, you kind of have this Saturn square Uranus is Saturn still the ruler of this chart, saying, hey, we've got to focus on the work and the duty that we need to put forth into the world right now. And then the sun kind of wanting to more pay attention to ourselves and kind of take a break to nurture ourselves and focus on ourselves, and also that. And then we also have the moon square to Uranus and Venus here. So, this is just a kind of a disagreement going between our creativity and our work. So yet again, we have kind of this disagreement between creativity and what's expected of us, and then just kind of wanting to do none of that and kind of just focus on the self for a little bit. And we still do have this aspect between the sun and Mars, which is kind of that goofy kind of stalled. I don't want to say stalled out, but just kind of a delay. Things when Mars is in Gemini, things just tend to go wrong because of just a lack of like forethought and things like that. And then with the sun sextile to Jupiter, still it is. That harmonious energy between the feminine and the masculine energies, between the self and the outside world. So this is a harmonious time for us to kind of nurture that creativity despite the opposition that we might be feeling from outside sources, even from other family members, or from whatever we do as an occupation. So I hope this gives a little insight to maybe some rough patches coming up today and tomorrow. I know I've definitely been feeling some tense energy with some things being worked out in my own life as well. So take care of yourself, take care of each other. Ta ta for now.